All good with you, Myles?
Hey Ken, how are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. A couple of quick questions for you. We've spoken since your fight against Anthony Pettis in May. At the time, you told me that it wasn't or it didn't seem like the real you in there. We didn't get to see the real you. Decision making was off. What kind of Myles Price are we going to be seeing against Jeremy Stephens on Friday night?
The more authentic martial artist, calm, cool, collected, making really good rational decisions in stressful situations. Nothing's really changed in regards to the preparation between from the last competition and this one. It simply came down to when I went over and analyzed it, just pretty much freezing in certain scenarios for not being in that stressful situation in a long time, So I think shaking off that little bit of not being in there for a while has really been a huge help. And it's been a big difference between the training before the last competition and this one too. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting in there and displaying some skills and having a great time.
With that in mind, then it is a fairly quick turnaround for you. You go from fighting in May to fighting in June. You came out of the Pettis fight relatively unscathed. Given where things are in the standings, does that give you a bit more scope to push on, maybe physically a bit more this time out? I know when we spoke back before your Pettis fight, we're kind of talking about fight management, and it's come up with other fighters as well, where you're conscious that it is a season, that you got to look after the body. You're conscious of damage and that kind of thing. But is there a thought that you might be a bit more physically imposing here?
I think that definitely plays a factor for sure. My opponent on Friday has gone through a tough 3-round war, so he may be bringing a little bit of the old energy and durability bar has gone down possibly, whereas I still got a bit of a shakeout, but there was no real damage or anything like that. And it suits me to have a quick turnaround, like how could it not suit any real athlete to be more consistent? The more you're in that was the issue with the last competition, and again, I've said this in a couple of interviews, there's no excuses. Everybody brings in something into a competition that will potentially be holding them back a little bit. For me, it was just not being in there in a long time, so there's only 3 things that happen when you're in your nervous system's in that state. It's fight, flight, freeze, and you're locked into a cage, so you can't flight. So it's your nervous system, even though I mentally prepared for it very well, it just wasn't used to that feeling in there. So now it's used to that feeling. So I'm for sure expecting a lot more fluid and entertaining performance, because that's what I want. I really want to get in there and just have a great time and be my authentic self as a martial artist. And I feel like that in regards to season and the continuation of fights, it's played into my favor a little bit in regards to just damage from the first round. So yeah.
We heard from Clay Collard earlier. He reckoned that Anthony Pettis got the easy man, got his quick 6 in the first of the lightweight side of things. How do you think Jeremy Stephens might see this one? He's been there for quite a few years. Does the cornering have a bearing on things for the week, for the fight? Who's going to be in that corner, or does it matter?
Of course it matters, I've brought over my longtime coach, friend and teammate, Mick Brennan. He's been in my corner multiple times and he's been with me my whole career. So I'm absolutely delighted to have him in my corner. I'm very confident competing with him in my corner. And I have my sports psychologist there as well, which is also great to have.
And last one for you. How are you finding things in Atlanta this week?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's a great place, I have to say. Like loads of beautiful things to do around here, like the Coca-Cola factories over there. There's the aquarium, a Hall of Fame, and the hotel is amazing. So yeah, love Atlanta. Really hot though.
Well, look at Myles. Very best of luck. Really looking forward to seeing yourself and Jeremy in action on Friday.
Thanks, Ken.
Jonathan. Jonathan Ramlakhan, 5 Reasons Sports. Hey, Myles. Hope all is well, man. You were able to
Hey,
share the smart cage with a veteran of the sport last time with Anthony Pettis. What were you able to learn out of that experience that you're going to be able to take into your next fight?
I think that's valuable experience, to be honest. Just being with any opponent, I feel is a valuable experience. But to be in with uh, somebody that's been to the heights that he has been, it's just to download that kind of knowledge and to feel that kind of opponent when you're in there. I think you can really take something from that. So yeah, I'll be bringing every bit of the lessons I learned from my last competition into this fight. So yeah.
Now, similarly, you're going to have another veteran opponent who's had a long tenure in the UFC, but he's a lot more known for his hands rather than his grappling. How do you plan on incorporating your ground game to get a path to success during this fight?
I'm a great striker too, and I didn't get to display that in my last competition. So I feel like that and that's something that I kind of rushed into a little bit. I think with the takedown. So at the start of the fight, so I feel like a little bit more of a feeling out process is good for me. Everybody has their strengths. I mean, when you're at this level, everybody's good everywhere. So I wouldn't say Jeremy's a bad grappler. I'd say he has good grappling too. So and I have great striking too. So it just comes into how do you utilize and make the right decisions at the right time.
Should be a fun one regardless. And last one from me, man. It's your first season in the PFL. How do you feel your body is responding to that season format? I know you talked about having the advantage of that quick turnaround. How is your body feeling in between these fights?
It feels great, to be honest with you. You just have to change your training format a little bit. So as opposed to training up towards a peak, more so kind of like maintaining my peak and focusing a lot on recovery and choosing my sessions wisely. So yeah, it's been fine for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Myles, and good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Salvador.
Hey, Myles, Sal Garcia with Punch Media. So, as mentioned before from the other guys, you've come into the organization and taken on 2 really tough fights back to back. Do you seek out these matchups, or is it just anyone, anytime?
Anyone, anytime, really. I'm a martial artist, so whoever they throw in front of me, I'll fight.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Myles while we have him here?
Nope, but his beard looks great.
That's great. It's good. It's good sign.
All right, guys. Thank you, Myles. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, guys. That was great. Thank you.